Africa, and with a strong presence in Lagos, Kano, Edo, and Rwanda. With a vision to improve lives and empower knowledge, Genius Hub prides itself in providing services and training to over 17,000 persons in over 49 TVET entrepreneurship, employability, and digital skills such as basic literacy skills, graphics design, website development, digital marketing, filmmaking, and many more. Genius Hub is committed to promoting MSME growth and visibility through incubation, acceleration, startup development services, as well as tech-driven interventions, including training and capacity building in digital marketing, basic digital literacy, product photography, social media marketing, financial management, search engine optimization, and more. Through NYTV, Genius Hub reaches out to train aspiring creatives in the areas of photography, cinematography, editing, lighting, and many more. Welcome to Genius Hub, the right destination for human capacity development, skills acquisition, and empowerment. Genius Hub is a human capital development organization with offices across Nigeria and Africa, and with a strong presence in Lagos, Kano, Edo, and Rwanda. With a vision to improve lives and empower knowledge, Genius Hub prides itself in providing services and training to over 17,000 persons in over 49 TVET entrepreneurship, employability, and digital skills such as basic literacy skills, graphics design, website development, digital marketing, filmmaking, and many more. Genius Hub is committed to promoting MSME growth and visibility through incubation, acceleration, startup development services, as well as tech-driven interventions, including training and capacity building in digital marketing, basic digital literacy, product photography, social media marketing, financial management, search engine optimization, and more. Through NYTV, Genius Hub reaches out to train aspiring creatives in the areas of photography, cinematography, editing, lighting, and many more. Welcome to Genius Hub, the right destination for human capacity development, skills acquisition, and empowerment. Genius Hub is a human capital development organization with offices across Nigeria and Africa, and with a strong presence in Lagos, Kano, Edo, and Rwanda. With a vision to improve lives and empower knowledge, Genius Hub prides itself in providing services and training to over 17,000 persons in over 49 TVET entrepreneurship, employability, and digital skills such as basic literacy skills, graphics design, website development, digital marketing, filmmaking, and many more. Genius Hub is committed to promoting MSME growth and visibility through incubation, acceleration, startup development services, as well as tech-driven interventions, including training and capacity building in digital marketing, basic digital literacy, product photography, social media marketing, financial management, search engine optimization, and more. Through NYTV, Genius Hub reaches out to train aspiring creatives in the areas of photography, cinematography, editing, lighting, and many more.
Hi. Always very excited to be hosting this webinar. I'm very, very excited for this special webinar because we have one of our industry leader, all that we all love, we all respect. We have the almighty Osai with us this afternoon. If you're watching from every part, oh, Mr. Osai is not hearing. Oh,
Hello.
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Can
we
you
can
guys
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you very well. Can you hear us now? So we are very excited to have Osayi Tres Omokaro, one
Hello.
man that has been. Yeah, we can hear you very well. You're not hearing us. We can hear you very well.
Okay.
Can we?
I can hear you very well. Yes, I can.
Okay. So thank you so much,
My
Mr. Osayi, Mr. Tres Omokaro, for joining us on a very, very special day. We are very excited and we did not take this for granted at all. Always very excited to have industry leaders, someone who have been in this space, in the MSME space, for more than 20 years and who has contributed to the economic growth of the MSME, the startup in Edo State. So we are always very excited to have industry leaders share their wealth of experience with us on our platform. So like we do at Genius Hub, this webinar is to support business owners, MSME's ecosystem, providing trending information, trending knowledge that will help them grow and
Sorry,
stay in
was that from my end?
Yes, it is. Okay. So we're very excited to have you, Mr. Saeed Tomokaro. I'm sure you can hear us clearly. Can you hear us?
I think network took me out. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. But can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, but the line is still breaking. I don't know whether it's from my end.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Okay. I'm not alone for this webinar. We also have one very smart, eloquent CEO of Genius Hub who has always been supportive of this webinar, who is extremely passionate about growth of MSMEs, especially the women folks. And we're going to be working together to ensure that we have smooth webinar. Obe, how are you doing today? You be quiet. What's going on?
Me very good. Welcome, Mr. Saeed. I hope you good too. Thank you for finding time to join us. I know your schedule was quite tight. And I want to say one very remarkable thing about Mr. Saeed. When we sent him this invite, the way he responded, I said, oh, this speaks volumes about you. So in case you are just joining us, this is just a webinar. And we have today money and mindset, navigating the entrepreneurial, and with us justice. Do justice now.
To do justice to
you be is a screen god. A screen god. Yeah, we are quiet now. Ready. So you are welcome, very welcome, Mr. Saeed.
Thank you.
Can we hear your voice, Mr. Saeed? You are welcome to our live webinar.
Network is dragging.
We are not hearing you.
I'm not hearing
Something
you guys
is
very
wrong
well.
with his
It looks like
network.
my line is dragging. But I'm set for the class. If you can hear me, think we are good to go. Just let me know when I can share my slide.
Yes. So we are very excited. Thank you for honoring us. We did not take this for granted. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
For willing to share your wealth of experience. Yeah, like I said earlier, You are one industry leader that have been in the MSME ecosystem, supporting startup, ensuring the scale, best practice from system to structure, from innovation, from, you are one person who have been very, very consistent. And that is why we decided to say, let's have an industry leader who is very intentional, who believe in starting small and growing big. So that is how Mr. Osai's case has been. He started small, but he has grown global, he has grown bigger, and we're very excited to have him share his wealth of experience with us on this special day. So if you are that MSME, it is the right time to get your jotter, your notes, to document. If you don't write, you may forget. So we did not want you to just listen for listening's sake. We don't want you to get inspired, but we want you to get inspired. We want you to have a call to action strategy for this webinar. Like we always say, we will always do all we can to support the SME ecosystem. And why are we doing this webinar? Because we are intentional about the growth of MSME. We want them to scale, we want them to grow. So if you have received knowledge and you don't apply them, it simply means time wasted. That means there's no value for money, no value for time. So I just believe that those who are live with us this afternoon will do the needful. Doing the needful simply means that you get your notepad, get your pen to take notes. And that you are getting this for free doesn't mean you take advantage, you take it for granted. This is a lot. He's a very busy man who had a lot on his table. We are going to have one-on-one with him. It's very expensive. So that having him to share his wealth of experience, I do not want us to take this for granted. Thank you once again, Mr. Sai. A quick one. So you have the floor. Just show us what you have always showed the world in the MSME ecosystem. So you have the floor.
Thank you.
So we would like to just read, before you start, we just want to just read just few lines of your bio, just few lines. That.
I didn't get that.
Okay.
So I want to quickly read your bio, just a little line.
Okay, go ahead.
Osai Omokaro, father of startups, as he's fondly called by Edo people, is a certified business coach, business development expert, business consulting expert, business management expert, and certified public speaker, trained at the Business Training Institute of Florida and Pan-Africa University, EDC Lagos Business School. He has his other academic background in mass communication, banking and finance, and management sciences. We have a lot here. Like we said we'll just read out a few.
I think we can go ahead. The people will get to know me subsequently. Thank you.
Others are funding business ideas, choosing a profitable business idea from idea to marketing and get employed. He has co-founded several businesses and currently sits on the board of some thriving tech companies. He is a certified member, International Strategic Management Institute, and a fellow Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria. He is the current publicity secretary of the Nigeria Association of Small Scale Industrialists, Edo State branch, the founder of Trescaro Systems and Solutions, Director, Africa Center, ECD, African Center for Enterprise and Capacity Development, founder, management process in states all over Nigeria and Africa. Osai has over 6 years of working experience in the banking industry. He's the Benin City chapter director of Startup Grind, a global community of entrepreneurs designed to educate, inspire, and connect entrepreneurs. Currently in 1,000 plus cities, 125 countries, 2.7 million team members, and over 5 million community members globally. He has been awarded several recognitions from both government and private organizations. like the Tony Elumelu Foundation, Business Innovation and Growth, you win. He is currently one of the mentors in the Tony Elumelu Foundation program since 2018. He has also mentors and coaches with Kickstart, MasterCard Foundation, International Breweries, so on and so forth. So this is the caliber of the man we're bringing to us.
That's very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. You can see that we did not bring you any other person. We brought you industry leader. So I'm emphasizing that he's an industry leader. So we need to get our jotter and start to write. Mr. Sai, you have the floor.
All right. Can I share my screen? Can I share my, okay.
Please do. You can. Please go ahead.
Okay. I think a lot have already been said about me, so I'll just go straight to my teaching. So the topic we are engaging today, we titled it, oh no, it wasn't. Sorry, am I the one controlling the slide? Sorry, am I the one controlling the slide? It seems to me that the slide is moving without my control. Okay, please. Okay, so today we're looking at money and mindset mastery. Money and mindset mastery. Research has shown that a lot of us, we do a lot about trying to earn money, which is just one of the 5 major aspects of financial mastery. We do a lot every day trying to see how we can earn more money. Of course, you can't take that away. It's a vital part of the money management system. But basically, we have other engagement with finances that majority of the time we engage with those other aspects of finances almost like a robot. We are not mindful, we are not intentional about our engagement with other aspects of our finances. And some of those other aspects I itemize in my book. I just released a book and is currently on pre-order titled Money Devotion. One of the things I
Big
try to achieve
congratulations
with
for
that
that.
book. Thank you, ma'am. One of the things I try to emphasize in that book are basically some of the things we're going to be sharing in the course of this session. You know, I realized that we have 5 major engagements with our finances. The primary and the most important one for majority of us is how to earn money. You know, but beyond that, we don't give intentional attention to how we spend, which is supposed to also be very vital, how we spend money. Then, of course, how we save money. In fact, majority of us have more reasons why we cannot save than reasons why we should save. Then, of course, we invest money, and collectively, how we manage our finances. So those were the things I dealt with in that book. You know, so but today we're going to be focusing on how our mindsets affect our finances. So that's a little about me. You can just do a screenshot of this in case you want to engage me, you know. And since a lot has been said about me, so let's maximize the time to engage the service. So that is the book. So today we're looking at, first I want to just look at about 5 proven theories on how our mindset affect our finances. The first is the fixed versus growth mindset, which was propounded by Carol Dweck. You know, the fixed mindset is that belief that my abilities and my intelligence are static. So what this does to us in life and even in our finances is that it leads to fear of failure, and it ends up making us avoid challenges. And one of the things is that when you avoid challenges, you have intentionally told yourself that you have settled for poverty. Because the truth is, we all get paid for the challenges we overcome. So money comes to people who constantly are overcoming challenges. So it is necessary that we embrace the growth mindset. What's the growth mindset? The growth mindset has a very totally different belief. It talks about the fact that my ability can be developed. What this does, just that little shift of you believing that my ability can be developed will help you embrace challenges and help you persist even in the face of setbacks, because you can't take it away. As we begin to work towards amassing wealth, building products and services, developing our businesses, challenges are a part of the process. In fact, if you run away from problem, you are inadvertently running away from money. One of the things that differentiates us as entrepreneurs from the other people in the world is the fact that entrepreneurs see money when they see challenges. Every other person may see challenge and think about how to run back, but when an entrepreneur sees challenge, an entrepreneur is asking himself, how can I solve this? If I face this, there are a lot of other persons facing this same challenge. How do I fix it so these other persons can pay me? So they start by first fixing it for themselves. Then the process with which they fixed it from themselves, they document it and begin to sell that same process. So all of this is possible because you have a growth mindset. So the second mindset that has been propounded scientifically is the scarcity and the abundance mindset. This was driven by Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey is the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said a scarcity mindset focus on limitations, fear of not having enough, leading to risk aversion. When you are afraid to take risk, it means obviously you will always want to settle for the most least risk adventure. And once an adventure has minimal risk, the obvious fact is that it has minimal return. But someone with an abundance mindset focus on possibilities and opportunities. It leads to generosity. Always we share this. Abundance, prosperity is not measured in accumulation. Someone that has an abundance mindset is always thinking about giving. For instance, a lot of resources is going into what we are doing now. An organization is funding this. Yes, they may be engaging some of us and they are spending relation capital to get us. I joined the class yesterday. I saw the young man that was talking from Warri dishing out profound value as to the impact of AI in our current world and the future ahead of us. It takes a lot. They may not have paid, but they have just expended relational capacity. They have expended relational resources to make sure that you can watch this and learn from this free of charge. So in reality, there are really nothing free on the earth. Everything free that you get, somebody is paying for it. So the person is paying for it is operating from that abundance mentality. Abundance mindset have these concepts that things don't get exhausted. So one of the mindset of abundance is that things don't get exhausted. I always will ask this in my sessions when I'm teaching. I will say, while you were coming to this class, you have a pack of biro. A complete pack of biro has close to 100, and you meet somebody who is in need of biro, what will you do? You won't think twice. With ease, you will give. That's how abundance thinks. Even when an abundant minded person has just 2 things, is willing to give. Sometimes they give out their least, they give out their all without fear, because they just have this mindset that things are always available. So that mindset in itself positions you for financial liberty. Then the third one is behavioral finance, propounded by Daniel Kahneman. It's the prospect theory said people value gains and losses differently. That leads to irrational financial decisions. You heard people that will tell you anything about network marketing can't out. Sometimes you'll be wondering, but people are making money. Network marketing in itself, for instance, is a concept. Yes, this person's experiences about network marketing may have been the ones that were built around a Ponzi scheme. So, but with that person's experience, every time the person hears network marketing, the person raises a defense. He raises a defense. Does that mean that network marketing is not paying people? Just as some people hear about stocks and shares, they will say, hey, the last money I put in shares, I lost it. So because of that, anything about that. So there is a way people react to losses. Meanwhile, somebody will make these losses and said, what was it that I didn't do right? What was it that I missed? If other people are doing this thing and they are succeeding, there must be something I didn't get. The person goes back, learn the process. So that is another one. Then the third one is self-determination theory, intrinsic motivation. Why are you pursuing financial goals? Some people just pursue financial goals for satisfaction and growth. Why other persons are pursuing financial growth for external rewards and recognition. I've met people who are doing well, but they can afford to just be in the background of whatever they are doing. They don't want the public eyes on them, and it doesn't bother them. But there are some persons who they get their they feel that outward recognition and reward makes them happy. And none among these two has anything wrong with them. So sometimes I've seen people, for instance, who are just they can fund projects, they can be a part of massive projects that are transforming life, but they'll just tell you, just leave me at the background. I'm just comfortable like that. So why are you? So people do things for different reasons, and all of these are mindset that drive our finances. Then the final one I'll talk about is positive psychology, optimism, and resilience. Positive mindset contribute to better financial decision making and recovery from financial setbacks. Like I said earlier on, financial losses are a part of the process. I read just yesterday that Dangote is offering, I think, about 27 point something percent of his refinery for sale to raise funds just to offset one of the loans with which he built the refinery that is due for August ending. Everybody celebrating his work for the Dangote refinery, but that young man, or you call him an old man, is thinking of how to foot the bills. You know, one of the things I found out about wealthy people is that they have more losses than those who are broke. The issue here is that those who are broke, majority are they are risk averse. They don't take risk. So they don't have losses, but they don't have wins. But those who are wealthy that the world is celebrating, if you go study the life of Elon Musk, when Elon Musk sold off his stake in PayPal, I think he sunk almost 100% of the entire funds into SpaceX, and at some point began to live in one room and start his life afresh. Today, Elon Musk at some point will be the richest man in the world. These are people that are there's this optimism. They always believe that the world will always work for their favor. So that's where the Bible comes up that says all things work together for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. So we need all of this optimism as it relates to our finances. So let me talk about some tips we need to master to be able to master our mind. One of it is you must cultivate a growth mindset. I talked about it. Embrace challenge. Embrace challenges as opportunities to learn. There's a book by John Maxwell titled Failing Forward. What does it mean? In business, we always tell ourselves you either win or you learn. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday. I said, see, in investments, the first and best place to invest is in yourself. You know why that is very important? Because it is you that will take all the investment decisions that you will take going forward. So, what if you don't know enough? If you don't know enough, and yet you are the one that will take all of the investment decisions that will result in your financial prosperity, it means you are already setting yourself for failure. And when you fail, you have simply paid tuition, you have simply paid school fees. So it is best to rather pay ahead by paying to learn. That is what it means to cultivate a growth mindset. Spend money to educate your mind. Spend money to build capacity. Understand that every time things don't work out as I want it to work out, there's a reason. And the major reason is always lack of knowledge or lack of knowledge backed action. Because sometimes we take a lot of actions, but these actions are not backed by action. My mentor will always say, life will not pay you based on your efforts, but life pays you based on the knowledge that backs your efforts. So we must reflect on our past successes and how we overcame past obstacles. So your life must become a life where you are constantly mindful of what is happening within you. So I always will share this, that in every challenging situation, as much as you are observing what is happening externally, always observe what is happening within you, because that's where the learning takes place. You learn more from setbacks than you will learn from failure, from success. So even when things are not going as you should go, sometimes it may just be God's way of making you see what you are not doing right. Then second is you must practice gratitude. While I was putting this together, I was asking myself, how do you tell somebody, for instance, who is not meeting his financial goal to be grateful? The thing about life is the fact that what dominates you within express itself without. You may not have met some of your financial desires or your financial goals, but you must look at the little that is going on where and practice gratitude. That's why we recommend the gratitude journal principle. Just imagine every day, at the end of the day, you sit down and write out the things that you are grateful for. You may not know how wealthy you are until you know the cost of a liver. Meanwhile, yours is functioning effectively. Until you know the cost of a heart, things you already have. You wake up, your eyes are shining, you can see. So, identify these things and just be grateful to God. And one of the things I realized about gratitude is that what you appreciate will appreciate in your life. So never use words like this small salary, because in every money that comes to you, the past is inside. That's where you pay off your debts. The present is inside. That's where you eat from. And the future is inside. That you sow and invest. But imagine as the money is coming, instead of you to be grateful for the little that has come, you use your mouth to demoralize the money. What happens? So that's why we must practice gratitude, celebrate small financial victories. See, one of the things that happens, I tell you, we hear a lot, set big goals, set big goals. I tell people, set big goals, but break them down to smaller goals. And every day, start your day being a success. It sends a signal to your mind And that day begins to produce a lot of successes. In fact, somebody said if you want to be successful in life, start by making up bed in the morning. You just wake up in the morning, you make up your bed, you have achieved one success, record it. Success achieved. What you are trying to do beyond the big thing you are dreaming about, you are speaking to your mind. See, because the truth is, experientially, I found that your mind plays more role in your financial life than hard work. Your mind plays more role. Your mind will attract the opportunities that your hand, your expertise, your knowledge will take advantage of. Imagine when your mind repel those things because you woke up and you really cannot count your successes. That's where gratitude matters. Then the second, of course, set clear goals, define specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound financial goal. At every point in time, you should be able to state in exactitude the amount you are working towards. The amount you are working towards. It will even guide your prayers. For those of us who are believers, how do you pray when you don't have a specific goal you are working towards? How do you save when you don't have a specific goal you are saving towards? How do you invest when you don't have an investment goal? So you must specify these things. Because when you live life haphazardly, you are training your mind to be disorganized. So the issue of money plays a lot around what your mind can see. So when you break down that large goal into manageable steps and take your daily actions based on your big goals, you see that your life tilts towards order. You shouldn't be somebody that somebody can just call over the phone and said, "How far? If you are not busy, make we meet now." And you jump out and go. It means your day was never planned. People shouldn't be able to jump into your day and have access to you. In fact, I wrote somewhere one time that if every time people call you, you can pick, I can almost tell that your bank account is very small. Your bank account balance is very small because you are disorganized. There should be times people call you and they can't reach you. That's because, see, you have a phone doesn't mean you live there. There should be time where your phone is turned off. There should be time where your phone is on silence. Of course, if you have grown to a level, there should be time where you don't miss the call, but you don't take the call. Why? Your assistant will attend to it. So you don't miss the call, but the people are still unable to reach you. That's how your life should be that organized. You cannot be reachable at all times. An organized person cannot be reachable at all time. There must be time where you just know if you call this person now, he's not available. Oh, if you call him now, he should be spending time with his family. No, at this time, he should be. And people should know when they call you, they can't reach. I think that was actually supposed to be the goal of our WhatsApp status. The idea is I am not available. I'm taking a nap. I'm in a meeting. I write it on my status. So when you are trying to reach me, you check, oh, at the moment, Osai is sleeping. But I think when we began to see the business side of status, the whole thing changed. So at every point in time, there should be time people can't reach you because you are working out something. It takes time to create a course. It takes time to create a product. It takes time to do all of these things that will sell. So set clear financial to then develop financial literacy. Educate yourself on personal finance topics through books, through courses, through seminars. Stay informed about market trend and economic news. I saw Madam posted something recently trying to encourage people to continuously read and shared some time management tips on her LinkedIn about an article she was just reading. So you get to realize that, see, you don't stop learning. You don't stop learning. I was in a session yesterday and somebody was saying that You just wake up in the morning, you pick your phone, and the first thing you do, you go to Instagram. And I said something. I said, even if I pick my phone and go to Instagram, the things I still see on Instagram are things that still teach me. Why? Of the people I follow. So even if you play in social media, you say, oh, this 1 hour of my time, I want to spend it on social media. The people you follow and the content you viewed in the past will determine the content that will be shown to you. I don't know whether it's some full of iPhones that does that. When I log into some social media channel, they will tell me that based on this phone that you are using, we are expected to seek your consent to determine the kind of things to show to you. I will give my consent. I will identify the things I want shown to me. So every rubbish on social media can come to me. And when you mistakenly see content, you can mute it. Sometimes Facebook will show you, should we show you more of this or less of it? You say less. So when you pick your Instagram, you should be able to see content that are teaching you about finance. That was actually the reason behind the book I authored, Money Devotion. What was the idea? A concept that allowed people to spend between 10 to 15 minutes every day on a subject around their finances. So the book is just a part of my course I titled Mind Your Money. Why do I begin to think along this line? I realized that people are doing a lot to earn money. They are not mindful about how to spend. They are not mindful about savings. They are not mindful about investing. So they are practically running in circles. As they are earning, of course, you are earning, but the back door which you are spending is larger than the front door through which the money is coming in. You will always end up broke. So constantly developing your financial literacy is one way you can keep your finance going on. Then you must develop visual representation of the successful you. I recently I opened my phone. I was showing myself to my children coming out from a private jet, showing them my picture about me speaking in the United Nations. These are pictures I have developed. I do not currently have a private jet. I have not spoken in the United Nations, but I have a graphic design. I have the picture of United Nations and me speaking there. I have those pictures. And one of the things I realize about your mind is that your mind doesn't have the capacity to differentiate about what is real and what is fake. So you actually can build a future that you want and constantly show it to your mind, and your mind goes all out to look for how to make these things become part of your reality. So create a visual. There's what is called a vision board. A vision board is a portion in your house where you should have seen December 2024. You should have seen December 2025 on the board. It demonstrates where you are going. When people enter your room, when people enter your office, they should see your future around you. Your mind wants to see those things. In my goal setting class, in my goal setting course, I teach about writing a letter to yourself from your future. Imagine a letter addressed to me carrying December 31st, 2024. Congratulations on the acquisition of this. Congratulations, you just earned this. I'm proud of you. That's a letter from my past, from my future, sent to me. And I read this to myself every day. So visualize your success. It help your self-esteem. It will help your self-courage. When people talk you down, when people use words that are damaging to your reputation, it will not sink because your mind has heard so much about your future and you are certain as to where you're going. Then let's look at the power of routines. How routine help to master minds and financial habits. Because the truth is, we are people of routine. Consistency builds discipline. Consistency builds discipline. As good as you want to do some of these things, if you put a system in place, Sometimes you don't need to struggle to do some of these things. Just establish daily habits that align with your financial goal. Like, for instance, I would recommend you get this book every morning. Open the conversation of the day. It's a 31 days guide, just like you have your proverbs from chapter 1 to chapter 31. So it's a 31 days guide. You finish it in 1 month, you start again the next month. Day one may just be talking to you about understanding your mindset. In fact, day one is actually talking about your mindset about money. Day two is talking about how to track, how to live a life of budget. Day three is talking about how to track your expenses. So every day you are having a 10 minutes conversation with yourself about your financial life. That daily routine, that consistency will make you begin to develop that financial wisdom. And what dominates your mind will eventually find itself in your life. Then reduce that decision fatigue. Automate the process. Automate the process. If you have read the portion that talks about savings and show you strategies to save, automate it. In my course, Mind Your Money, I gave an analogy. We all grow up. If you check the dictionary now, what is the definition of savings? They will tell you savings is the money you keep after all your expenses. I said, let's just tweak that definition to be that savings is the money you keep before you spend whatsoever is left. With that definition alone, a lot of us would have been multi-millionaires. Some of us have wigs, some of us have shoes that could buy real estate, but we don't have a plot of land. We invest in things that are liabilities, but gives us that outward wealthy disposition. One of the things I found out about wealth is that those that are already wealthy are doing everything to look simple. Those that are broke are doing everything to look like they are wealthy. You don't have to try to look like you are wealthy. Just be. People don't need to believe that you are wealthy. Just be. Just invest in assets. Just make sure that every time you think about what you have been able to put out there, you are just happy. It doesn't really matter about the perception people have about you. The only time you will see the likes of them, Dangote, the Mark Zuckerbergs, and all of that flaunt their wealth is possibly when they're discussing deals. I'm not sure you can tell me the kind of car that Dangote is driving. I'm not sure you know the kind of car the likes of Tony Elume is driving. Do you know the kind of car Mark Zuckerberg drives? It doesn't matter. Look at the way they dress. Simple. So make this process automated. Let your savings go out and you spend. Sometimes people have reasons to say that, oh, I'm earning 200,000. That's not even enough. So I always will say this. Ask yourself, are there people earning 150? Are they living? If they are living, tell yourself that earning 150. Make sure 50,000 is deducted from your account and live on 150. Because the truth is, if your salary will be reduced by 50% today, you will not die. So reduce it by yourself and automate the process that removes the rest. It is only when you have dominated savings you can begin to think of investments. So that's important. Then create accountability. Very few of us are disciplined enough to take some of these actions without the help of another. So there is nothing wrong if you have an accountability partner. If you are married, your husband, your wife, your spouse should be your accountability partner. Sometimes for us men, it's difficult to fail when you know what your wife is expecting. When you told your wife, oh, we are saving 50,000, we are saving 100,000 every month, and you create a system that gives her the alert when the money comes in. Sometimes even when you don't have, you may have to go and borrow and credit that account. Because you have said it out, or you open up to a mentor. I remember going through a group coaching session one time, and the goal of that session was that everybody who goes through this session for 6 weeks will earn a minimum of 2 million. And we started the session by first submitting the bank statements, our current account statement. And every week you were made to submit the new account statements just to see that that revenue goes through your account. And that accountability in itself spurred up a lot of us, and we earn that money. Some earn much more. So accountability can push you to do things you most likely will not do by yourself. Because I wrote this one time. I said, I know that some of you work in a structured environment. That environment puts a lot of accountability in place, and you are meeting all of the targets of office. What about the targets you have made to yourself? You are not meeting them because you are not accountable to yourself. I had a session one time, and Steve Harris was in the room, and somebody asking said, you dropped out of school and today you are successful. What would be your advice to someone who is contemplating dropping out of school? Before the person finished, he said, don't even try it. He said, I dropped out of school. I know the routine I created for myself. Yes, you will drop out of school like I did, but I can't be sure of the routine you will create for yourself. So it's not the dropping out of school that makes anybody successful. It's what you drop into. Who is holding you accountable? What routine are you maintaining? So your mind learns from your routine. It's one of the reasons I tell people who are looking for civil service jobs because they think it's a place they can go and hide and not work, or they have a job where they can sign in the morning, run away and go and do another thing. See, the way you work trains your mind. The way you work trains your mind. Don't even work like you are being paid. Always put in your best. When the Bible said when we work, we should work like we are working to the Lord. That is what it means. So don't look at what you are being paid. Look at the scenario around you. Just constantly put your best. Understand it from this conversation today. The way you work, educate your mind. Your mind record it as something you have agreed to be success. And that is the way your mind will always work. So be accountable to yourself. Where you cannot, submit to an accountability partner. There are a lot of great people who have accountability partnership program. Pay for it. In fact, accept or even tell your coach or your mentor that anytime I fail to meet a task that you give me, please charge me. In the class that I just shared with you, we were in a group of like 30 people in the group. And if at the end of the week you don't submit your report, everybody in that group made to pay 10,000 naira each. You can see that strong accountability. So even when you have submitted yours, you are calling the others to make sure they've submitted. Because if one person fails, all of us are punished. So put yourself under those kind of tight structure. Because in life, you are either going to pay now or pay later. So if you want a bright future financially, you must be able to pay the price today. Then, of course, foster positive habits. Incorporate positive affirmation to your daily routine. In my book, Money Devotion, one of the things you see there is a quote about a particular topic. The next thing you're going to see an affirmation that you must affirm that day. Then you see the strategy with which you must implement to execute the task of that day. Then you see a scripture that supports the idea of that day. Why do I do that? Why did I package the book like that? So every day there is a word you are telling yourself about your finances. One of the quotes that we share as a family every day, one of our affirmations is that I am grateful that money comes to me easily in increasing quantity on through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I am grateful that money comes to me easily in increasing quantity on a continuous basis through multiple sources. That's an affirmation. Let your heart just understand. You know, sometimes some of us have this mindset that money is hard to come by. If your mind believes that, money will truly be hard. Once your mind believes that money is hard to come by, money will truly be hard. But some of you will say, but it is true now. No, it's not true. You want to find that it may be your fact, but it is not true. Check. You know, some of us have come to conclusion that there is money or there's no money. Everywhere is just tight. I always tell people, go and check car dealers. People are buying cars. Go and check people selling cement before they drop 1,000 bags. The next day is clear. What are they using to buy those things? In fact, somebody say, you people keep complaining there is no money. So the crowd that we see in ATM, what are they going to do? So every time you are complaining there is no money, you are telling your mind what to produce in your own life. So you want to foster those positive habits. Then practice mindfulness. Is the reason I did what is on my shirt now. Mind your money. Practice mindfulness. A lot of us are not mindful about our finances. If I ask you now to document all the money that enters your hand in July and how you spent them, if you can't write them out, you are not mindful about your finances. If you are mindful, in fact, part of the mindfulness process you can put in place as a system is that just like companies we see, there is an amount you can spend. When you want to spend an amount above this amount, you must get this approval. You can tell yourself, for us to spend anything more than 20,000, that thing must wait for 1 week, except it's an emergency. And if that thing is not within our budget for a month, that thing, if it's coming in as an intrusion, it must wait for 1 week. You know what will happen to you in that 1 week? Before that 1 week, you may discover an alternative way to sort that challenge without spending money. You know, sometimes we see people come to us and say they need money because they don't have money. That's why they've not been able to do their business. And when you sit them down and begin to go through the processes, you realize that what you needed the money for, you don't need money to eat. You need the money to consume on a process or a whatever in that business. If you sit down and mindfully engage, you will see that there are alternative ways to meeting that demand even without getting the money. So it's the same thing with the way we spend. Then let's look at some of these practical steps to implement a routine. One, of course, have that money routine for your financial success. Review your financial goals and affirmation every. Plan your spending and saving for the day. In the morning, write out everything you are going to spend money on. Even if you choose to say today, I will give out 1,000 naira, write it down. So if somebody comes in and there is a need for that person and it's not within the budget, it has to wait. In fact, my mentor will say, any need that cannot wait for your money to grow is not yours to meet. You know, the communal life we live in Africa, I love it and I appreciate it. As good as it is, some of the practices within the communal lifestyle is still the reason why we're broke. You can see someone who is the first child in the house automatically become a co-father to take care of the younger ones. As good as that sounds, what it then does for us compared to what is obtainable in other, when somebody is 18, the person is deemed fit to take responsibility for their life, even though their parents are wealthy. What that does for us is the fact it helps those people begin to take responsibility on time. But somebody is 35 years old here, he's still living in his father's house, and he's still coming and opening the pot and say no food, and he's still angry. Yes, the parents think they are doing their best, but they are perpetuating, we are building a system that sustains poverty. But that same person will carry his bag and travel abroad, and the person will discover a lot of things that he can do that he was not allowed to do while he was here in Nigeria. Why? The person has found himself in an environment where he has no option. He has to deliver at that level. So review your financial goals and affirmation every morning, then plan your spending and savings for the day. Then secondly, track your expenses and income. Every money that comes into your life, write it down. Accountability can help you do this. This is, the first I talked about is what you do daily. The second is weekly checking. You must check this week, what were the things I spent money on? What were the expenses? It's part of my system and my strategy for saving my expenses that I don't carry cash. It's part of the things I have discovered that is my weakness, my spending habits. So the way I deal with it is I don't carry cash. So even if I see somebody and the first thing in my mind is to give the person money, it becomes difficult to go and pull out your bank account and start transferring. So when I go to some place to say, bros, anything for us, I'll say, I'm sorry. You see, I had to pay with transfer. I cannot start transfer. You say, bros, transfer to me. But it's difficult to do. So understand your weakness and guide against it. And when you track your expense and your income, adjust your budget. It is necessary. Adjust your budget when needed. Then mindfulness practice. Dedicate a time each day to mindfulness exercise. Use applications that could help you. Track your mindfulness progress, and just tell yourself, this money I spent, did I even think about it before I spent it? And within your mindfulness practice, take time to talk to yourself about the future you see. Sometimes, see, every day your environment is speaking. Your environment is speaking. And if you live in Nigeria, you're watching us, you can understand that the environment speaks more negative. In fact, it's almost becoming a global phenomenon. So the environment speaks about what you need that you don't have, but you must be mindful of the things you have and express gratitude to God for them. Use apps, create reminders on phone. I have reminders on my phone, remind me every 3 hours on what to say to myself, what to do. Create some of those things. I think with that, we've come to the end of our session. So I'll be available for questions and answer. Then that's the book. It's out on pre-order now. So you can place your order. At the moment, at the pre-order stage, it goes for 3,000, but the printed work will be out by the end of August. By then, it will be 6,000. So it's recommended that you take action today and you get it delivered to your doorstep wherever you are in Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the privilege of exposing me to your audience. We'll be available to take questions now.
Thank you so much. That was deep. Very,
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
informative, very educative, very enriching. And that is what we're expecting. We're not expecting less. Listen to all you've said, from embracing challenges, seeing challenges as a way to scale, listening to you explaining how important to win and to learn. So not having the mindset of, oh, if I don't win, I will scatter. Because that is also another mindset. But re-emphasizing that there's a need for us to have the mindset of winning and learning. meaning whatever mistake, whatever obstacles, you learn from that process. Then you also went as far to talk about gratitude, which really, really one part I love personally, and that is one thing that has also helped me. You talked about gratitude, you talked about affirmation, you talked about accountability partners. These are actually very powerful tools that has even helped me personally. And I'm very, very glad that this was really, really emphasized while you were speaking. You said a lot for
Thank you, ma'am.
every that came out from you, for every 1 minute, a lot of powerful messages were dropped. I'm not saying this to flatter you, but I am saying this because I took my time. I noted while you were speaking. I took notes, and I also took note, and there were some action points I
Thank
also
you,
took
ma.
down for me. So very, very rich. I'm honestly grateful for pointing your art to the MSME ecosystem. And there's something that struck me when you talk about celebrating financial victory. Will people not think celebrating your financial victories does it not send a different perception to the public that you are boastful, you are not respectful, you are proud, you are showing off? So how do we manage the expectation from people when we begin to celebrate our little financial victories? I just wanted you to just explain this. I want you to share more, throw more light on this.
Sorry, the network is breaking. If you can hear me, can we just have the questions written and shown on the screen? I didn't get your question. You are muted. You are muted.
Thank you. So my
Yeah.
question is, how do we celebrate financial victories? Because you talk about celebrating financial victories. So my question
Okay.
now is, how do you manage expectation from people when they begin to see this celebration as a show up? They begin to see this celebration as a way of showing to the world you have arrived, or thinking that you are proud. So how do we manage expectation from people when we celebrate our financial victories? I just wanted you to explain this part so that we are guided accordingly.
Okay. Yeah. When we talk about celebrating financial victory, it doesn't necessarily mean that you must do it in the open. For instance, of course, most of our financial goals are a bit more personal, family, and all of that. So if we have decided as a family that we are saving towards 1, 2, 3 items, every time we achieve it, we can decide how to celebrate, how to celebrate within ourselves. You know, for instance, part of what we do in my house, for instance, is that most of our celebrations rallies around our children's birthday. So on when somebody's birthday is coming up, we're saying, okay, just tell us what you want. The last my son said, don't give me cake. I just want 3 of my friends from school to come to the house. In fact, we don't even need anything. We just want to have fun amongst ourselves. I had to take my phone and call these friends, call their parents, and their parents brought the friend. They had together. In fact, some of them came and bought things. So we added whatever, but they just had fun. That was the best. That was his own celebration for his birthday. So if we had set a goal and said, "Oh, this is what we are working towards. Oh, there's this particular contract we are pursuing. Once we get it as a family, this is how we are going to celebrate." Our celebration is just to acknowledge success because your mind wants to be acknowledged that we have achieved a goal because success bets another success. Success bets another success. Beyond the finance, for instance, if you list out your to-do lists in a day and you achieve all of them, you can choose to say, let me just take myself out. But if you are a family, we can say, okay, let's spend some family time together. Just little way to acknowledge your success. Then, of course, when you now talk about how to manage people's expectation will always be people's expectation. At some point in time, if you too much concern to people's expectation, you may begin to injure your own self. Because the idea here is that your self-esteem, you teach a lot about self-esteem, madam. Your self-esteem has to be intact enough to know that I will have to be myself irrespective of people's feelings. Because one of the things I found out is that people's expectation cannot be managed. We always share that sometimes in a story about a man and his son and a camel. The man and his son were walking. He put his son in the camel. They were walking, and people saw him and say, what kind of a foolish son is this? Your father is trekking. You are on a camel. The man heard them. He put his son down. He climbed the camel. They say, get father. Your son is trekking, and you are on the camel. After a while, both of them came down. The was ongoing. They say, hey, see, foolish family. Camel is to carry them. The camel is just free. They are trekking. Both of them now sat on the camel, and people still say, you people want to kill the camel. So people's expectations to a very large extent cannot be managed. So just do the best you can. Just be certain that you are not ripping anybody off, and whatever you are doing, your emotional health is in place and intact. As for me, I think that's one of the most important things, because even the Bible said you should love your neighbor as yourself. It means self-love is important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sayi. I love the angle of you talking about self-esteem. Like you said, it is one word that has personally inspired me all my life. So I think for me, just an addition to the participant who listen to us, is that you can, I think, worry less about people's expectation. Worry less about people's expectation. The truth is that just be yourself. Celebrate the
Yeah.
way you want to celebrate it. Because the truth is, who really defines success? And that is where my second question is going to. Who really defines success? How do you define
Yeah.
success? How do you measure success? What is even success? Because there's a place you said here, when you were speaking, I took notes. You said, reflect on your past successes and how you overcame obstacles. So at what point in our life at what point in our life can we say we are successful? Because I'm a little bit concerned because of the audience on this platform, right? How do we um, measure success? How do we know when we become successful? I also love the fact that the topic talk about mindsets, and all of this is about mindsets, which I'm very excited about. But how do we really measure success? At what
Okay.
point should we celebrate? I know you talked about victories, about money, because by the time you are able to measure success, you know what success is. You define your success, but at what point? Because this will really enable us to measure results and look at how we can make adjustments and learn from the obstacles that came our way.
Okay. When we talk about success, personally, we say success is actually just the achievement of a set objective. What is it that you have decided that you want to do? Once you achieve it, you are successful. So when you have not defined what success means to you, you may even be in a state where others are aspiring to be like you, but yet you are feeling down because you've not taken time to define what success means to you. Then, but when it comes to financial success, I take this scripture, 2 Corinthians 9, verse 8. He said, and God is able to make all grace abound towards you, that you always having all sufficiency in all things, and may have an abundance for every good works. If you read that scripture very well, if you read it in other translations, it talks about you always having sufficient enough for yourself, abundance to help others. So, but if you do not define what is sufficient enough for yourself, even when God thinks that you should be able to pay somebody's school fees, you are thinking of changing your children from a school they have been to a higher school where you pay more, then you are defeating the purpose for which God is making money available to you. Because the truth is, we are all supposed to be channels of blessing. So we are channels of God's blessing. First, success is supposed to be self-defined. But you can't take away the fact that society also have parameters for judging success. But if you allow yourself to be driven by the societal parameter for success, you may self-destruct. Because I ask this question a lot of time. How happy are you? Most people don't ask themselves those questions. The richest people are not the happiest people. You go to some places, you see a man and a woman in one room
You are
with
very
4
right.
children. Okay, scripture, 2 Corinthians 9 verse 8. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 8. You go to some places, you see a man and a woman in one room with 4 children, but you see the way they are having fun, they are celebrating. There is no AC in their room, possibly no light in the house where they live in, but they are happy. But you are living in GRA, in your duplex, you always have lights. You are sleeping in your room, your wife is in another room because you people are angry with each other. So if you don't define what success means to you and you want to live your life based on the standard of the society, the environment, you self-destruct. A lot of men today are not married because they are trying to meet societal expectations. And meanwhile, people that have less than what they have been married, they've had children, and all that. So I think success should be self-defined. Just then, if we have to now take
I
it to
completely agree
scripture,
with you.
just discover what God sent you here for and live your life achieving it. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Osai. I love the emphasis of self awareness. That means success is being
Yeah.
determined about you determine success by yourself. It is what you call success that is actually is success. I love that part very, very well. And I also want to say another way you can actually also know that you are successful is fulfillment. What is that thing that you do that give you so much joy, that give you so much peace? The ability to find fulfillment in what you do, where you
Yeah.
currently are, is actually success for me. And that is what we also like to emphasize in Genius Hub, and which is why we don't play with life skills. It's, in fact, it's our foundational class at Genius Hub, where we open your mind, work on your mind, so that you begin to see things as you define them, not necessarily as society has defined you. So thank you so much for reemphasizing the power of being you. Because again, all of this money mindset you have discussed today, abundant mentality, scarcity mentality, they have to do with your mind. They have to do
Yeah.
with how you define and how you see things. So I hope someone is listening, someone who believe that success is material things, especially in this society right now with what we see on social media, where people begin to live fake life. You see people post on a car, post on a fine building, sending those pictures to the public. And if you don't know who you are, you get carried away and you begin to compete and begin to compare. So I think living what I will leave behind here is you must always be you, be yourself, be original, be authentic, embrace what is before you, appreciate what is before you. And like Mr.
Yeah.
Sai said again, you talk about gratitude. You need to appreciate what you have. We have always said on this platform, if you are not grateful to what you have, you can never be attracted to those things you are grateful for. So
Yeah.
if you're always complaining, just know that those things that you complain about are the things you get attracted to. So for us here, we are doing this webinar to remind someone, one MSME, if it's just one person's that paradigm have shifted, we are satisfied and very, very happy. We are having this webinar consistently because we want somebody to scale. We want you to grow. And you can't scale without having a growth mindset. You can't scale when you don't even know who you are. You can't scale when you
Yeah.
don't define success to yourself. You can't even scale when you don't even know what you want for yourself in the future. You don't have a vision. You don't even believe in yourself. You can't move. So very, very excited this afternoon that Mr. Saeed took his time, prepared his slide, and took the slide one after the other and explain in details. This we did not take for granted. And I want to assure you, Mr. Sahi, that lives have been transformed. For us, it is not the amount of money you make after this training. It is this transformation that happens after this knowledge. That is what we celebrate as success at Genius of. So when we say we are successful, trained social number of person. Some people ask, oh, how many of them have money now? How many of them have buildings? How many of them have this, have that? So for us, is this transformation of mindset? Is that transformation? That is what we regard as success as Genius of. Impact for us is deep. It's moving you from
Yeah.
one level to the next level. That is what we call impact for us. So you coming to add your voice to this afternoon means so much to us at Genius Hub. We are grateful. We do not take this for granted. And I hope
Thank
somebody's
you,
life
ma'am.
have been transformed. I hope somebody's life have been transformed. So at this point, we'd like to leave the webinar open for questions from the public. I think I saw one question earlier. Yeah. So the question here is, how do you stay resilient in the
In the
face
face of
of
financial
financial
uncertainty.
uncertainty, especially now? Fantastic question,
Okay.
powerful question.
In
Mr. Lai, you have the floor.
1 minute, let me just quickly with that. The truth is, if you are an African, financial uncertainty is a part of our lifestyle. Very few of us grow up very certain of where the next big thing is coming from. So that's why you see that when our people travel abroad and they see a seemingly saner environment, they easily thrive. I think it's an internal thing we just need to build. You know, I think that's why it looks like we're very religious and people are not happy about that. You know, life is getting more uncertain as we go. So your spiritual life cannot be taken for granted. No matter how successful that person is in the outward, there are times things just don't happen as they want it. What do you fall back to? I think our spiritual support system, our communal life, that's why I said, as good as our communal lifestyle, this is the negative side, but it has a lot of positive side. So to be resilient as an African, you just need to belong to communities like what we are doing now. Be able to express yourself and share what you're going through. Engage with communal discussions. Be a part of communities where things are going on. Be a part of entrepreneurial communities. There are always opportunities coming in. You may not be setting on the next agenda, but once you are able to constantly be around where the opportunities are, of course, you can always overcome those uncertainties. It takes just one opportunity to break through. So you can't tell where the opportunities are coming from. That's why you must be a part of seminars, trainings, sessions, courses, and all of that. Anywhere people that have the mindset that you want to have are congregated, just do your best to be a part of it. That's what I would say concerning that.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Brilliant response there. I just want to also add this period, like I have been advocating on this platform, this is the time we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to embrace agriculture. We need to embrace gardening. For the past 3 months now, I've been one person advocating for gardening. Now you can plant in bags. Plant in bags. A cup of vegetable spinach I bought yesterday was about 300 naira for a cup. For a cup. So that's a cup. You can prepare the soil, put them in bag. If you say okay, you don't have a space, you don't have space. But using bags lately now has really, really helped a lot of household. That way too, it will also provide food because again, I also did my research recently and said what is really taking money from us. What really take money from us is actually majority of our funding go to food. So I just feel that if everybody practice gardening, if you plant potato within 3 months plus you have something to harvest. Vegetable, 3 weeks, I can guarantee you spinach, you can start eating your spinach and you don't need to uproot it, just cut it. Use knife to cut it from the top, and by another few days again, another fresh set will start growing again. So I just want to say this period is a very sensitive period. A lot of people are committing suicide, but that's not the way to go. Like Mr. Sayi also said, belong to an ecosystem, belong to an ecosystem, belong to group of people. Where do you worship? Muslim belong to a community that we be like a support system, and we're very good at that in Nigeria. We always have support system from the church you worship, from your family, from your friends. So there's a lot of support system you can belong to that will also help you out in one way or the other. Then the last is be consistent. This part, be consistent because you're doing a lot, and if you're not consistent, you don't get the kind of desired result you want. So you cannot start something now in another 2 weeks because you have heard story of someone who is doing well with it, with another thing. You stop doing agriculture now, you jump into fashion. You from fashion, you jump into something else entirely. So it is always good to have an identity. It is always good to be consistent in anything you are doing. Just be consistent, and over time, there's always a reward for this. And again, be contented, because that's another last word for we give on that. Be contented with the little you have. Celebrate that little you have. See that little as a big deal. Be contented with the little you have. Thank you so much. We have another question here. This is again for Mr. Sayi. What role does
What
self-doubt
role
play?
in your entrepreneurial journey and
Go
how do
ahead.
you manage it? Let me be vulnerable to
Okay.
you and open to you. You've heard that word, imposter syndrome. It happens to everybody. I was in a session with a young man who inspired me to do some of the things I do today. I said, you used to do events across universities. Why do you stop? He said, "You want me to be truthful to you?" I said, yes. He said, fear. So everybody that announces major events, what they do it despite doubt. And once you finish one, you think because you have succeeded in this one, when you want to plan the other one, the devil will go and fold his hand. The devil will give you reasons why it still will not work. But you just have to continue. Once you continue, after a while, that voice of self-doubt will be silenced. So the strategy to managing self is to just consistently take action that is against that self-doubt. You decided I will post every day for this month for the next 30 days. When you are typing the post, the enemy is reminding you, your mind is telling you the last one you post, only one person liked it. That's not your business. Focus on I will post once daily. Before you know
Yeah,
it could take after 6 months before people will now say, this guy has been posting every day. Let's even go and check what
that's
he's
the truth.
posting. But the problem is that you
That's the
stopped
truth.
before that time. That's why we'll talk about
Yeah.
burning the boats. You know,
Mm.
it's like a set of soldiers that soared through the sea to an enemy's camp. They soared, they they came down from their boats and put fire on the boats, meaning we either succeed or we die. The mindset an average entrepreneur have.
Yeah.
Your ability to fail and not take it personal is one of the
Yeah.
mindsets you have. You fail, you will just learn what did not work and move on.
Exactly.
Let me
Move
share, let
on.
me share this story with you. I organized a program at some point. Nobody showed up. I told my people, set up the camera. If it's 2 or 3 of you, sit. I did the training. I recorded it. I'm selling it as a course now. I
Okay.
gave it to people for free. They did not show up. When I listened to Steve Harris, when he shared his first experience, he announced a
Yeah.
program he was going to do. 24 hours to the program, nobody has paid. 3 hours to the program, nobody has paid. But he had told his wife, he said, if one person pays, continue with the webinar. 1 hour to the program, he received an alert. He jumped into the room and told the wife, somebody has paid, he's going to do the program. When he opened the alert, he checked it, it was his wife that paid. But because he had said, if one person pay, I will do the webinar, he went ahead and did it. The wife joined and cheered him up. At the end, he announced, wow, our webinar was very successful. If you missed it, the replay is available. The webinar was for 1,000. The replay was 5,000. 12 people paid for the replay. People will pay 1,000 to attend live, but 12 people paid 5,000 for the replay. So when you plan to do the next, that self-doubt will come. Who do you think you are? When you continue,
Yeah.
the Bible said when the devil tempted Jesus 3 times and Jesus rebuked him, the Bible said, and the devil left him for a
Left.
season.
Yeah. For a
Meaning
while.
after
That's
a
good.
season, he will come back.
We'll
So the
come
devil,
back.
if
That
you're
is the
telling me
reality.
positive about the devil, is persistency. It's very
In fact,
persistent.
that is it.
So self-doubt is there. Just leave it and keep doing
Leave
what you
it.
want to do. That's where if you commit to a mentor and you tell the mentor, I want to organize an event. And as you are planning, things are not working because you are committed to a mentor, you can't go back. The mentor will say, okay, let's know progress. Even when you are struggling, guides you. So it's one of the strategies to overcome it. Sit with a mentor, commit to a mentor, share your fears. We encourage you and you take the steps you need to take. Sometimes be happy to fail. Take the lessons from the failure and hit it again. It's as simple as that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Sai. In fact,
Thank you.
I'm so excited because when you have someone who shared some values with you, it's very easy. That's why we talk about core value in every organization. What will keep you going is your core value. What are your core values as an individual? What are your core values as an organization? So you must deliberately remind yourself of all of these core values regularly. In fact, self-doubt is part of life, but the ability to keep doing what you have set your mind to do. Just set your mind to say, you know what? Regardless of who is looking, regardless of who is telling you well done. Like I always like to use
Yeah.
myself as an example. I'm a self-motivated individual. I am a self-motivated individual. That means I'm not waiting to get some kind of, oh, well done. You say, keep it up. I motivate myself. In fact, I fight myself all the time to become my own best version. I don't care what you define as best version, but for my own definition of best version, I will do all in my own capacity to grow, to develop, and push out. Another thing that has worked for me is that I am not afraid to make mistakes. This webinar we are having right now, we had a lot of people who challenged us, who said, why are you doing webinar? You have been doing some, network have been doing this. We have a lot of people discouraging us. But we have said to ourselves, rather than even having once in a week or once in a month webinar, we said we're going to have webinar every day. In fact, on Monday we have a webinar, on Tuesday we had, Wednesday, And today, Thursday, we are. So this is Junior Sub. Just develop a mindset that you are just moving. And that is why your circle of influence matters. Who do you surround yourself with? Who are the people you look up to in your circle? So your circle of influence matters. It helps how you reason. And I've told myself, if you don't believe in me, there's no need of being around you. There's no need. Why I don't do self-pity. I don't do self-pity. So you need to you need to grow out of that mindset. Self-pity is one of the reasons why some of us are still where we are. So you need to leave that mindset, self-pity, take it out. Looking for attention, emotional blackmail. You are blaming people, blaming people, blaming people. When will you start taking responsibilities? When will you start taking responsibility for your action? So for me, is to start. Don't make any process perfect. Just start.
Yeah.
Just start. Don't make any process perfect at all. Don't make it perfect. In the process, you get perfect. In the process, you learn. And I love what you said. You said you win and learn. So if there's two words that are very deep with me today is to learn and to win and learn. Meaning anything you did not do well, see it as an opportunity to learn.
It's a learning process. Yeah.
So it's a learning process. So I'm very, very excited.
In fact,
okay, go ahead.
If you start and what you did was perfect, if you go and check, you started very late. Les Brown said, whatsoever is worth doing is worth doing badly until you know how to do it well. You know, they will say the common word is whatsoever is worth doing is worth doing well. What if you don't know how to do it well? So people will say, I am working on it. I want to perfect it before I do it. No. Practice makes progress. Nobody is perfect.
That's the truth.
Practice makes progress.
Nobody.
So continue to do until you get to fine-tune it. If anything gets perfect, the rest of us will no longer be necessary. So the imperfection of the person is what gives the other person relevance. And God can never allow what any person is doing to be perfect. If what you're doing is perfect, it solves all the problem. The rest of us
will be God.
So that's it. So just do it and leave the things that you did not perfect for another person to fix. That's the opportunity for the next person.
In fact, in fact, we can't thank you enough because you made this session very interesting, very interactive. And I'm sure a lot of people have learned. A lot of people have learned. And this is Mr. Sayi. We call him our industry leader. He's our leader in this space. Please follow him on his various social media platforms. No, Mr. Sayi, you are making us very proud, and that's enough. That's really, really what we need.
Thank you.
We know you are very busy, but you created time to be here this afternoon. We do not take this for granted at all. So please don't forget to follow Mr. Sayi on their various
class. I'm even in the class in EDC. Wow. I had to pull out to join. I'm leaving here. I'm joining back.
Wow. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much. Your investment will not be wasted.
Your sacrifice pulled all of us to do the same. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Sayi. Please don't forget to follow his social media platform. So we're going to be sharing his social media platform on the screen any moment from now. Please, Faithful is already sharing. Oh, they're already sharing that already. Please follow Mr. Sayi on his various social media platform. On YouTube, he's doing very well. And just recently, they launched their YouTube channel not too long. They've had over 500 subscribers already. So what are you waiting for? So join that powerful community where industry leaders, because it's not just him, he gathered industry leaders to speak to people on various issues. Don't be someone who is looking, who is thinking. Take your action right now. Be a subscriber. Not just be a subscriber. Get his book. Get his book. Get that his book on Seller. And beyond just getting that book, because we know that this book will change your entire life. Let this book become part of your day-to-day. Let this book become part of the tools Tools for transformation. That is how I see this book. Tools for transformation. A book that will keep reminding you of daily steps. A book that will keep reminding you things you haven't done. A book that will keep reminding you of who you should become. So this is very fundamental. And not just buy for yourself, but remember, you also belong to communities of young people. And when we say invest in people, buying one or two copies for these people is investing in them. So thank you so much, Mr. Sayi. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your organization. God bless everything you do. Thank you so much. So from all of us at Genius Hub, we are saying thank you. Thank you so much for spending quality time, taking time to share your wealth of knowledge and not even asking us to pay a dime. This we did not take for granted. So I also want to thank the back end, the people behind the scene that nobody get to see, people like Faithful, people like Isaac, people like Rejoice, people like CEO, Obey Your Power, people like Orilade Joy, Mrs. Suche, our HR, Joel Osagede, Kelvin, Nosa, Desmond, Destine. I can continue to call names. I hope I don't step on toes after calling all these few names I've called. Adesua, Ivie, Ogochi. In fact, now quite a number of persons in the Genius Hub who are working behind the scene to make sure we get to where we are. So I want to say God bless my team, God bless Genius Hub team, God bless them every day. God bless Mr. Sayi, God bless your team too. God bless everything you do. So for those I did not call their names, Titi Layo, the Lagos team, thank you. Let me just put that way. Say Lagos team, thank you. So the Lagos team will know I did not call you there. Emmanuel, Ngozi, Eniola, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So at this point, we want to say bye-bye to everyone. Thank you, everyone. But don't forget to join us again. Just keep in touch with us on our various social media platforms. Our summer is currently going on for children. You are getting tired of where to drop your children. You say, oh, they did academics in school. Why should they have summer school? So our summer school is actually a learning period for the children to learn various skills. And guess what? They're having serious fun here because here we expose them to life skills. We expose them to skills that will help them make an informed decision in future, from cinematography to photography to lighting to sound to script writing to set design, even to our fashion designing. We have pattern drafting, manner drafting. In fact, just name anything that has to do with fashion. But for tech, from graphic design to web development to computer appreciation to digital analysis, just come to Genius Hub. Bring your children, and we'll help you. We'll help to transform the lives of these powerful children God has given to you as gifts. They are Nigeria gifts, they are the world's gift, and they will become better, and they will make you proud at the end of the day. So thank you so much, and Mr. Sayi, God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Smile for us, please. We need to see your smile. We need to see your teeth. No. Don't give us bedroom smile. I mean, smile. I want to see your teeth. Beautiful
Thank
smile.
you.
You have a lovely smile like this. Thank you, Mr. Sayi. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. So, see you up to Mr. Sayi. We need to hug. No. We have to hug you before you leave now. So we are giving you e-hug. See your e-hug to Mr. Sayi. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You know that there will be a part 2, Mr. Osayi. I'm coming for you.
So we are coming for you again.
I am always available. For you, there is no going back.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
There's no going back.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Tomorrow is another day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we invite you to join our webinar series. Today has been very engaging. And tomorrow, we are expecting for tomorrow's webinar. Join us as we continue to engage our minds and bring to us those things that are very important, like what we learned in today's webinar, talking about how your inward learnings will reflect on your outward, And so tomorrow we are expecting another guest. Stay tuned and continue to join us. From all of us at Genius Hub.
Bye. Thank you, Charity. I just remember I didn't talk. Thank you.